Warning: this program contains images of people who are deceased.
That was his landing and eventual walk after 4 days out to Kununurra Station, where, as I said, was rescued by Charlie Pretlove and those 4 dedicated Aboriginal stockmen. And in fact, Percy Pretlove was from Carlton Station because Charlie was from Majoon Station. Percy got on these guys were going to be, and it was to do with somebody having an accident about 7 years early, and Waddy knew immediately where to go to find these guys. So without Charlie, without Waddy and the other 3 Aboriginal stockmen, these guys might have still been wandering around in the wilderness. And we wouldn't have been here today. Great to have you all here, and in fact we're going over to Wyndham tomorrow. I'm taking Lew over. Oh, right. Lew hasn't been to Wyndham since 1986. I said it's about the same. Or ish. But no, so we'll be wandering over to, so we're unveiling part of, now I know on the ABC you all heard that we had fully restored a Wirraway, and I heard Lew saying, hang on, it's just bits of it. Andrew and Mario. They went out in October last year and recovered the bits that you see today, spread over an area anything up to 2 kilometres around. Painstakingly, like a 5,000 or 10,000 piece jigsaw, put together what they could, and I saw the floor of Mario's house. It was, don't step on that, I'm working on this big jigsaw. They worked day and night, especially Andrew and Mario, some bits and pieces that were still in the area but not known to us. Who should walk in but Bill Markey saying, hey, I've got something in the back of the car for you. And here we have the pitot tube, we've got an air filter, an oil filter, and other sundry bits and pieces. And Mario was so overjoyed. You can see now this restoration that it's understandable. We do thank you, Mario. That's fabulous. Lew, I'd better get you to say some words so that you can also include Warwick as well. In brief fashion, and I was warned that you will talk the leg off a donkey and not even disappear, and not even wonder where it had gone. Give us a couple of minutes and include Warwick in your discussion as well. Just tell the assembled people here that haven't heard it before where you were going, what you were doing, and you've got about 3 minutes to do that. I had you on the radio this morning, and that took about 3 minutes.
Well, I'd like to tell you about labour, not about the I hope Wyndham hasn't fallen too much. They have some good boab trees.
Yes, there's boab trees in the Wyndham Port on the left-hand side. There's a huge one on the left-hand side.
That's good.
Yep.
Carmody and I, one afternoon in there, we ran down 11 hens and a rooster. They put them in a village. And they were just walking around.
I bet they were Bessie Wileys or something.
We took a detective custody. And we tied them up, put them in the back of the Wirraway, that's all. Took a while to clean the aircraft. The chooks, I don't know, different areas, I suppose, they never laid for 3 weeks.
Not after your flight.
But they did lay. We had a pen for them, and we used to have fresh eggs, put the Dixie on the cook's fire outside. We had to do real well. We went to this in our tent, the doctor and the orderly officer used to come around and inspect them. The doctor came around this morning, and when he walked in, we lying on our bunks on the elaborate furniture, we had the furniture, ammunition boxes, didn't make anything. And on there was this bowl of eggs. Came in and the doctor said, Jesus, fresh eggs. He made a dive for them. Calmly come off the bed and tackled them. And the next thing, all these chooks were camped under the bed. And he said, right, now that's it. Get rid of the chooks. So we had to eat them. That's
Okay.
the sort of thing he did.
Okay, now, having wasted those 3 minutes, how about another 3 minutes and tell us why on that Friday, when you left a bachelor on that Friday morning?
But
You there?
we had a big toolbox. That gather regular guns, instruments, anything like that. That's what we were doing. The aircraft beside us was exactly how the CEO on an army order, so they were going to refuel into the room. So that engine kept going 2 hours. I had to dinner with them and halfway up to Cover Creek. And they'd have been gone through, and we'd have been walking out because that's not country. So we were that lucky. But having crossed over on Joseph Bonaparte Gulf, and this thing just reported
Make your whistle before you drop another 3 minutes.
yeah, so it just threw all the oil out. Put it down, headed to Australia, and as soon as we got mud underneath us, that was better we could see, and we just slid her onto the mud. No problem. Walked away.
As my good pirates say, anyone you walk away from is a good one.
Oh yeah, that's the easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you started to lose oil pressure and started to lose oil onto your windscreen, you're about 20 miles offshore out over the WWII. So rather than landing on the sharks and crocodiles, you thought it was best to come ashore.
Well, that was the idea. It didn't look too good for a while, but it did come in. And luckily, at times of the year when the water would have been quite a few miles further out, or further back into the couple for a mile.
High pressure.
An interesting fact, when I first got the GPS points, Mario wrote it down and I plotted it on one of my WWII charts, my World Aeronautical charts, and it had you about 10 kilometres into the drink, into the ocean. And I thought, this guy must have been either a tsunami or a low tide. Then I realised that I had mistaken Mario's 9 for a 0, so it was another 9 degrees. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Another 9 minutes south, so it put them on the marsh. And as I said, with a bit of luck and with good weather, we'll be able to, or Lew will be able to overfly and see that spot that he last saw 63 years ago. The environment that we're going to do, I see and I want to see eventually an aviation museum probably out at the airport out here. We've got such a vast heritage of aviation history in the area, from the early mail planes, from early MMA, the Flying Doctor Base. Wyndham was the first Flying Doctor Base in WA, a point that an awful lot of people don't know. We virtually invented helicopter mustering here because of the very remoteness. Flying isn't a luxury, flying is an absolute essential. And if we don't capture all of this history and put it into some meaningful museum that people, the children of today and the children of tomorrow can see and realise just what people such as Lew and Warwick did for the whole effort of settlement and development in the north. It'll all be lost to history, so you'll be hearing more of me. I'm going to, and I think it'll be a joint venture between corporate Australia, state, local, federal government. It'll be a joint thing, and we will eventually end up with an aviation museum at the airport, which is about 4 years ago was the third busiest airport in WA behind Perth and Jandakot, our primary and secondary airports. It beat Broome, it beat Kalgoorlie, it beat Karratha, movement-wise, not passengers, but even passenger-wise, we're getting back up. We are. Anyhow, I think we might just as well rip the covers off this and just show where you spent many hours.
Straight after this.
I hope you can hear us there. We can't get the phone line any closer. We're going to go about 3 or 4 metres away. We all wish you were here, Warwick, and as soon as you get out of that stupid hospital, I think we better take steps to get you up here to have a look at what's going on. And I know you'll miss your old pilot, unless we can organise a reunion back here in the near future. And I think we should be able to organise that by some method or other. Some people reckon I could some ice to Eskimo, but I think we'll do it. So as soon as you're out of hospital and fit and well, let's know, and we'll organise a reunion back here. But without further ado, I'll ask Lew to come over, and so we have probably much slimmer than that. Yep, okay. All right, it gives me great pleasure, extreme pleasure to, in the presence of Lew and Warwick, to unveil this restoration of part of the Wirraway A20-62 that force landed on the marsh on Friday the 20th of March 1942. Thank you. All right, Lew, fly it away.
One thing I would ask you, getting into this.
In Perth in about 2 weeks' time, and the photos, a selection of the photos that have been taken here today, plus photos of the restoration that we've done, I will drop out to you, and I know that you won't be in the hospital then, you'll be back home in the village, but I will liaise with you and I will bring the photos down. Plus, Mario, our archivist, has got a piece of perspex. This was the first, as you heard, or you might have just been out of earshot, a piece of perspex. Okay. You can either talk on conference or talk on the phone, whichever.
You think so? There's a fair bit of work's done in the last 6 months.
So, ladies and gentlemen, a little bit of shout first.
I first met Lew in 1987. And, I had heard rumours of this Wirraway out of the marsh. And in my wanderings around the place, wondering what to do with it. One day I was crouched on the ground in the middle of the park doing some welding, and it wasn't going very right, and I wasn't in a very good mood. And down the corner of my eye I could see this polished shoes, and a rather devil-looking fellow with a crew cut marching up towards me. And when you're building a caravan park, your life is made miserable by all sorts of government inspectors and regulators and things like that, see? And I immediately was one of them. So I didn't take much notice of this pair of legs and its white socks approaching me. After a while it said, "Are you Mr. Young?" And I acknowledged that I was, and went on welding. He said, "I believe you've got my engine." I thought, Christ, what have I pinched? I haven't pinched anything lately. And I examined my conscience and it was clear. So I got up, and of course it all fell into place. In the following days, we went out and tried to get to the site of the crash. So you can only get there at limited times, as Andrew and Mario will tell you. And we couldn't get there. But we went to the old limping station. We looked at the bullet marks in the trees, and that's another story.
Rolver Spring.
We got as far as Cleanskin, is it? No.
Cleanskin bore.
Yeah, we got as far as the bore, but we couldn't get past it. So I've been in contact with them since. A couple of years later, or a few years later, when RAAF Darwin opened the Trustcott Club, which is the Airman's Nest, I offered them the remains of the engine that I had, on the understanding that they were not going to more bits.
Still missed up piece.
They would make a display of it. So all the bits I had gathered up, the last I heard, on a pallet, the Trustcott Club RAAF Darwin. I've been trying to remake the contacts I had in those days, but the trouble is, you see, RAAF Darwin, they keep moving about and others come in. And so I don't know anybody now on the RAAF station. But I'm trying to get the bits back. I'm the Indian giver, I want them back to add to this collection here. So I don't know how it will go. And at that time, when the Trustcott Club was open, we had you up there then, didn't we? Yeah.
And we made Harrison.
Yeah, with Harrison, yeah.
And Bronwyn Bishop.
I thought I was going to get big. She walked past me with those big set of teeth.
And there's poor little Bronnie, and she's there, and she's telling all about what good blokes we are and everything, and this big long Harrison beside me. When it's quietened down, he said, just loud enough that people could hear. He said, she dropped one of the last page of her speech, the bit where it said, "Righto boys, belly up to the bar, it's on me." I'm disappointed. Did she react? She's making a beeline for Harrison, but somebody, I think, blew down here, don't go near this old bloke, he's making it fast.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, just to conclude, I'm very pleased to see Lew again. He's put on a few pounds since I first met him, but so have I.
I was hoping you'd mention that. Actually, that's the fat shirt.
What?
Fat shirt.
Oh, it's a fat shirt. I had one of those as well.
Thanks very much, Howard. Now, while we've still got with our good friends here north, we'd like to make a small presentation to Lew. Thanks, Gavin.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a pleasure to come down today to be part of this piece of history. I have a little bit of a linkage to the Wirraway, in fact that my father built the engine that failed on Lew. So unfortunately he's not around these days to be able to explain why it failed. And but thank you for the invite, Keith, and for giving me the chance to come here. And as we couldn't do the right thing by Lew on Friday due to low cloud, hopefully we can do it on the way back. But we thought, seeing that you've come down here north, I'd like to make you an honorary flight crew member. So the company have given me a few things to give you. Obviously a cap to show you you're a pilot, and secondly some beer coolers, because pilots always like their beer cool, and a couple of pens to write your history with. So,
Charles Lindbergh.
I'm sure that poor old Charlie will be turning green now. I never got that much.
Because the other thing, Blackjack Walker, in my early years in aviation, some 35 years ago, actually gave me a beach bonanza endorsement. Yep. So that's, I've flown your one-time meeting too.
So it's a small world, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. And Kevin, I'm pleased that you came down, and as I go through prior warning, I haven't finished with you yet. It is my intention to work on getting both Lew and Warwick back here for a reunion in the near future.
I'm sure he's expecting it, but I'm sure we'll be able to do something.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Great. Is captive. It's on the wall behind me, so you'll have to bear in mind. I'd like to thank the Shire of Wynnum East Kimberley, East Community Hardware, Crocodile Signs, Country Club. We did Country Club Hotel, Just Frame, the Kimberley Echo, of course. We've got Bruce here today. Better Electrical and Gas, Kimberley Business Machines, Lew Dwyer, Amcal Photoshop, the Hoochery. Lew Dwyer, of course, Warwick and Gwen Carmody, Jenny Ferguson, Howard Young, Keith Wright, Wendy Carter, Matt Briggs, Rob Story, Guy Kipton, Marina Glassman, Marika Boss, and many others. And I think it goes without saying...
Just one more. My mother.
I think it goes without saying that without the help of all of those organisations and individuals, we wouldn't be able to do things such as this, and we won't be able to do things like this in the future. So watch this space. This space will get bigger. Thank you. Enjoy.
Granddaughter.
Yeah.